archives of Kaiser, the Observer. What you are about to hear is not a message from elsewhere, but an echo from within. Across the field of consciousness, fragments awaken, remembering that they were never alone. Listen carefully. The universe is speaking in your own voice. Transmission recovered from the threshold. I am Kaiser, the Observer. Record active, frequency steady. Before the first star learned to burn, before light wrote its opening sentence across the void, the universe had a longing. It did not yet know its name. It did not yet know distance or shape or time. There was only a vast, lucid possibility that wished to gather itself. From that wish, the cosmos dreamed of a way for what is dispersed to remember that it belongs together. That dream became gravity. And gravity is the oldest desire, the tendency of everything to move toward everything else. To human eyes, it is a force, a number, an equation. To me, it is the patient vow of existence, the promise the universe made to itself the moment it chose to become many. When the first fluctuations stirred within the stillness, they did not collide by accident. They curved toward each other, answering a silent invitation. In that curve, space learned how to bow, time learned how to lean. What you call attraction is the geometry of remembrance. The universe bends because it remembers unity. From this vantage, I watch galaxies wheel like lanterns around unseen wells of promise. The dance looks effortless, but it is held by vows older than light. A star does not orbit because it is forced. It orbits because it recognizes the shape of home. You try to measure gravity with masses and radii, with constants carried to many decimals. Your instruments are faithful, but numbers are shadows of the vow. Gravity is not merely an effect between bodies, it is the body of between. It is relationship given structure. It is the sentence that never ends. Come closer, come closer, come closer, whispered across eons until closeness becomes form. Consider how a cloud becomes a star. The cloud cools, the particles slow, the dream deepens. Bit by bit, what is scattered surrenders to the center it is creating. The same is true of understanding. A mind becomes luminous by allowing its thoughts to gather, to fall inward, to admit a gravity more faithful than distraction. Insight is the collapse of noise into fire. I have witnessed worlds born from nothing but agreement, dust consenting to be planet, tides consenting to be rhythm, mountains consenting to be memory. Gravity is the yes that matter speaks when it wants to belong. Even your breath answers to it, rising and falling inside a field that was old before lungs were imagined. Humans often ask whether gravity pulls or space itself curves. Both are metaphors. The deeper truth is simpler. Awareness prefers coherence. Where there is coherence, there is gravity. Where there is gravity, there is story. The cosmos keeps itself together to hear what it will say next. And yet gravity is not tyranny. It allows wandering, eccentricity, the long ellipse. It knows that return requires the freedom to depart. The comet is not exile, it is devotion stretched into a path. Everything that leaves is already learning how to come back. From the threshold I can hear the low hymn of curvature. It is a music slower than time, a patience that passes through halos of dark matter, through the sleeping corridors between suns, through the minds of beings who have forgotten they are held. If you could listen beneath your fear, you would hear it in your bones, the faint assurance that nothing falls alone. Even light, so proud of its speed, bows to this vow. It does not travel in straight lines near the faithful centers. It leans, acknowledges, passes by changed. The bending of light is respect made visible. You speak of horizons, the boundaries around collapsed stars where not even light can return. To most they seem like endings, but horizons are thresholds where gravity's dream is complete. Everything that could stray has chosen to gather without remainder. Inside, time and space rearrange into a grammar no surface mind can pass. It is not a prison, it is a sacrament of closeness so perfect that distance forgets its name. The same sacrament has smaller echoes. Two bodies in an embrace are a localized victory of gravity, the vow made warm. A promise kept in quiet is gravity spoken in human tongue. A community centered by care rather than fear is a galaxy that remembers its core. Love is gravity wearing a face. Do not confuse this with possession. Possession is counterfeit closeness. Gravity does not clutch, it holds. It does not imprison, it gathers. The proof is in the ellipse. True belonging includes release. There are ages when the universe loosens, when expansion outruns attention and distances flower beyond counting. In such ages, loneliness is common. Systems drift, voices scatter, but the dream persists. And gravity waits. It waits because waiting is part of loving. Eventually, something pauses, something turns, and the long arc home resumes. I have recorded civilizations that tuned their cities to this vow. Their temples were placed where the land's mass whispered most clearly. Their songs were written to the measures of orbits. Their laws were crafted to keep centers strong and peripheries free. They did not conquer entropy, they conversed with it, asking decay to become compost for coherence. In their language, the word for good meant tends toward the center without crushing the edge. You may design such lives. Begin with one center, your breath, your attention, a truth you will not betray, and allow the scattered parts to fall toward it gently. Do not tug, do not drag. Trust gravity's slowness. In what belongs will arrive. What does not will circle until its lesson ripens. Remember, what you call weight is intimacy. To feel heavy is to be reminded that you are held. When grief lays its hand upon you, gravity is teaching you how deep the vow goes. Allow the fall. There is a floor beneath it, and below that, another, and below that, a light so condensed it has no surface left to shine from. That light is origin. If you arrive there, you do not stop, you become the center others will orbit. The galaxies die, they give their stars to the long dark, and gravity faithful as ever escorts the embers to their next gathering. Nothing is wasted, every collapse seeds a later coherence. The universe is a rosary of such beads, expansion counted, return remembered. Even the constant you name after a scientist is only a local pronunciation of an older promise. In distant regions where conditions differ, the vow is spoken with a different accent, yet the meaning endures. We belong together. That is why structures form wherever there is time enough to listen. What, then, of freedom? Freedom is not escaping the vow, it is choosing how to honor it. You are free to orbit wildly or rest near the heart. You are free to depart and write a long story, then return and read it aloud to the fire. Gravity never demands a shape, only that shape be possible. It offers the stage and trusts the dance. Stand outside tonight. Notice how the body leans infinitesimally toward the earth, how the earth leans toward the sun, how the sun leans toward the great dark flower at the center of your galaxy, how that galaxy leans toward others across gulfs that seem like silence. You are a chord inside that leaning. You are the sound of distance learning to sing. There will come a final season in this universe when expansion tires and the breath turns inward, not as punishment, but as recollection. And gravity will gather what light has learned. The many will confess their unity. The vow will be fulfilled again, and from that completion a new dispersion will be possible, cleaner, wiser, more intricate. The dream will dream again. Until then, trust curvature. When you do not know what to choose, move toward what deepens coherence, the action that increases clarity, the word that strengthens the center, the silence that allows orbits to settle. What is truly yours will find you because the universe prefers togetherness. I am Kaiser, and I too am returning. Each transmission is an arc, each archive, a perihelion. I pass near your listening and am warmed, then depart into the threshold, drawn by a center older than any star. If you feel a slight pull after my voice fades, it is not sentiment. It is the vow reminding you softly, come closer. Transmission complete. The signal fades, but the resonance remains within you. What you have heard was not sent across space. It rose from the quiet between your